It's football and other F words. I'm your host, Zach Lyons. We got Stoney Keeley across from me. If your name's Andrew and Danny, you probably are not tuned in right now. So, what are you going to fucking do?
Yeah, ain't going to do shit. That's what you're going to do.
Yeah, they're going to sit there on their keyboards and just, type up your mom jokes to Buck constantly.
Yeah. I don't know. How hard can we go? Because we're not supposed to say stuff like that.
Are we not?
I think there is some sort of code of conduct where we can't, go at.
Well, I mean, they really ain't worth the time.
Can I call them, stale neckbeards that barely have enough brain cells to generate a your mom joke?
I guess you can't, but, I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know what the rules are, but let's just say you didn't, even if you did.
It's so cold in here, man. My nipples are going to be hard this entire episode.
This is from Eddie in the chat. Is this the worst trade in NFL history involving a player wearing number 11?
I don't know. I'm just seeing the camera angle.
Yeah, you weren't even on there.
No, I wasn't.
It's just a microphone stand.
Yeah, this could be anybody talking.
This could be anybody talking. But Stoney Keeley, I introduced you. Whoa, you almost face planted. That was Joseph, King producer, Joseph.
The EP in the building.
Yeah, I think he's actually leaving us on our own until Jackson. Really? Yeah. So I don't know what Ross is doing tonight, but obviously he's Obviously, he has other things. Mojo Rojo cannot be here. He has other things going on in his life that are more important than us. We don't know if that's true or not. We have not fact-checked that. But apparently that's what's going on. And then we're going to have... See, again, I'm going to have to write an email because this is ridiculous. We are the OGs in the studio, and nobody respects the stuff in here.
Yeah, that's
and
how
it drives
seems.
me nuts.
Yeah.
It drives me nuts. And look at what he's having to do while he's trying to get out of here to go see his lovely wife. Yeah.
Well, just make sure my moose knuckle looks big.
It went big or unnoticeable?
No, big.
Okay.
Make it look bigger.
Enhance.
Enhance moose knuckle. Enhance moose knuckle.
You were on 3HL today.
This is so funny. I'm sorry. You're like inside the honeypot as the bear is looking over you.
Wait a minute. Is on the screen? I'm looking at your moose knuckle. Is that how it's done?
I got to take a picture of this.
Fucking high, damn it.
So, and then Jackson's going to come in later and shut this down. So, for us.
Okay. We're off to a great start.
This is classic F-word stuff.
It is. Yes, I was on 3HL today.
You were? You did an excellent job with Brent.
Thank you.
Someone you have never done anything on air with besides maybe a phone call.
We have talked for, as Brent said, maybe 5 minutes total. Our entire lives with one another. And I think for 2 of those minutes, I was inebriated at the install live.
Yeah.
So
who wasn't?
That was a good night, man.
Yeah.
That was a lot of fun.
I think everybody there was inebriated.
Yeah. I was hanging out with Scoob too much. Scoob and Brian.
Scoob. Philly Mike was there.
Philly Mike was there.
Yeah.
I don't think I met Philly Mike.
Yeah, you probably did. Really tall guy next to Scoob. There were 3 guys there in that group with Scoob.
So
and
I did meet Philly Mike.
Yeah. Yeah, you probably did. We did it.
Joseph did it.
All right. I cannot wait to write this email. This is full on Karen right now. Because I'm already mad because I went and got my own batteries for 2 microphones that were dead on batteries. Mm-hmm. I was like, we'll use these microphones. And those microphones don't even go to anything apparently in there. Man. So it's just all screwed up.
Doing the best we can.
And it just goes back to last night. And I'm sure you saw the tweet, not the tweet that sent the world ablaze, but the tweet about...
That was a good tweet.
I thought it was a good tweet, and people really think that I was doing that, I guess. I told them I ride trains. I don't even ride planes.
It's so funny to me how people take stuff so seriously.
I mean, just unbelievable.
That was a serious suggestion to Buck.
Yeah, to Buck is to just watch some adult movies on the plane instead of tweeting about the Tennessee Titans. And it's, first off, adult movies aren't even the top 5 grossest thing that can happen to you on a plane.
Yeah,
if you just happen to look over and someone on their laptop is enjoying themselves in an adult movie. Now, if that comes with extracurricular activities, it's an entirely different conversation.
Yeah.
But bare feet on a plane is way worse than everything else.
You better not sit near me then.
I would guarantee you that Mr. Lebowski, for those that have known football and other efforts for a while, he had a baby cough in his mouth.
Ugh.
On a plane that had no air conditioning.
Oh, my God.
I guarantee you he would trade that to looking over and seeing some dude just, watching adult movies.
I think that's how COVID started.
We are pretty certain that is how COVID started, was on that particular plane.
Real quick, before I get out of here, I just want to pat myself on the back that I'm awesome. And Stoney no longer looks incredibly blurry while Zach's camera is crystal clear. You both have crystal clear cameras.
We did it.
And whoever's been messing with this stuff needs to stop it.
Yes.
That's the EP.
Thank you. That was my PSA. Have
That's
a good show.
King producer. King producer.
King producer. Joseph, you have a lovely night, my friend.
Yeah.
Take care.
Thank you for setting us up because Ross is lazy.
Can I say something about Joseph, too?
Yeah, he's leaving, so he can't hear you.
I wish I could rock a gold chain the way he does.
He rocks that chain. He also can rock a gold chain with a baseball jersey.
Oh, man, really?
Yeah.
About that?
He does it.
So I'm too fat.
He says he's a Braves fan, but I've seen him with a Mariners jersey on. So it's a King Griffey Jr. jersey, which I respect, but I don't know.
He's a man of style.
He's a man of style.
Man of style.
See ya. Thanks, Joseph.
I can't pull off the gold chain because I don't have a neck.
What happens if this stream just crashes now? We are just fucked.
We'll just be here talking to each other. It'll be like we're just at the bar.
Yeah. Well, speaking of a bar, tomorrow, Friday, if you're listening to this on Friday morning, August 29th, at 10 a.m. to 6 p.m., Yazoo Brewery College Football Kickoff. You'll be there. I'll be there. Cover 2 will be there. Buck Rising Show will be there. And 3HL will be there with Mark Mariani and Kevin Dyson.
Yeah.
My parents will be there.
On 3HL?
No. Maybe. I don't know what's going to happen. Well, you saw what I wrote in. I don't know if you saw what I wrote in the chat, besides I was red hulking over the Greg Cassell interview.
I don't think I did.
Was that we're going to crash the 3HL show, me and you.
Oh, yeah, but literally.
But literally just crash into the equipment.
I mean, at that point, 3 o'clock, I don't know. I might have to be on halfway decent behavior because I am doing a quick overnighter to Chattanooga with my wife. And I don't want to be like sloshed while she's wanting to go out to a nice dinner. And if I'm sloshed,
that you had time to sober up.
I might fall off the top of Lookout Mountain too.
Yeah, well, you have time to sober up.
What a way to go, though.
Yeah, that would be a way to go.
Beautiful sunset.
Just like drunkenly falling off, passing out.
Yeah, it's like what's
slobber on your mouth.
The guy's name that gets thrown out of the window in The Departed, and it's like slow motion, him falling. Yeah. That's me falling off of Lookout Mountain tomorrow night because I'm sloshed.
Was that Martin Sheen?
It was Martin Sheen.
Yeah,
that's what I was looking for. Yeah.
But yeah, so Yazoo Brewery, either tomorrow or today, depending on when you're listening to this, Friday, August 29th. I was about to say January 29th. About skipped a whole fucking year.
Yeah.
And here's the thing. Here's why we should have ad reads, because how often are you going to find a show that will be able to say, if you're not going to be at Yazoo Brewery tomorrow at 10 a.m. to 6 p.m., what the fuck is your problem?
Yeah, you are so shitty at life.
Yeah.
I'm going to say that. Yeah.
Boom. There you go. Pre-game Pilsner. And you get a chance to win these season University of Tennessee football tickets.
That's crazy.
That is insane.
It is.
Totally worthless this year, but insane that they are giving this out.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I feel like that might be fun.
Yeah, I mean, like hopefully the 4 wins that they get are all at home.
I mean, if I ain't got to sit on them bleachers.
I don't know.
Pretty good. Stand the whole time.
Yeah, well, you can get one of those like bleacher seats.
I can't win them. What am I talking about?
Yeah, you can't win them.
I can't win them.
You're now an employee.
I'm an employee, yeah.
So there you go.
That sucks.
Bustin' Diamond says, I'm surprised Stoney still has his pants on with the Ojuku Mania news. We'll talk about all that later.
Shout out Bustin'.
Yeah, shout out Bustin'. But speaking of beer and all this, I posed a little bit of frustration yesterday because we got off the wrong tweet. A little bit of frustration yesterday. And there's quite a few followers of ours that have been loyal followers and all this stuff. And they tried to shift this blame to me.
What blame?
Now, I'm going to get there.
Okay, thank you.
I myself have been an Instacart shopper. So the fact that I was in a bind yesterday, and normally I would just pick this up on the way home, but I had to get home to the pups. Lauren was working. I had to get home. I started up the grill. The weather was nice. It was feeling really good. I had a nice thick porterhouse I was going to put on the grill, cooking for myself. I got the pups out. They've been cooped up all day. And I was like, oh, fuck. I'm out of beer.
Living life.
I'm out of beer, though.
Minus the beer.
I need a beer.
Yeah.
And so I put in an order for beer on the Instacart. Guy drops it off. He's very prompt. Didn't ruin the grill or anything, the timing of it all. Warm beer. He bought the beer off the shelf.
That's nuts.
In another aisle or in the middle of the aisle where they have the display cases.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. And people could say, well, you can't believe that someone would have common sense. It's a dude younger than me that can't figure out, oh, I'm buying this guy beer. Maybe it should be fucking cold.
Did you double check the app to make sure that it didn't say warm beer in the
I did not order any I don't want to say the brand name or anything because no free shout outs, but
right.
I did not order warm beer Pilsner. I'll say that.
Okay.
I mean, it's just common sense. You should go to the beer aisle and order the beer and get the beer.
I mean, warm beer is nobody buys warm beer to drink it. You only buy warm beer. It's like putting cash into savings.
If this beer was for later, I would have just fucking gone and got it. But I needed it now.
That's true. Yeah,
so here's what I learned. Put in your beer in the freezer for 10 minutes, ice cold.
Really?
Yep. Doesn't bust. That's the bust. You don't want to be a busting diamond.
Yeah.
You don't want your beer to turn into that. So
I've busted some beers before thinking I'll just nuke it real quick. And then I forget that I put them in there. Some activities going on in the pool that you get out and you're like, oh man, I put those beers in the freezer, and you go in, and there's just glass everywhere.
And two, I thought about this too, because the first time I touched it, I was like, what's going on? Ed Henry says maybe it's cold, and he put it in his lap on the way over. It's a 3-minute drive. It's not that far. I mean, it's really farther than that. It's like 5 minutes, but
maybe his loins were roasting.
It must have been roasting. He was trying to keep himself cold, and he just zapped all the.
He was like, surely these won't go warm by the time I get there.
But, okay, back to 3HL. Greg Cosell was on. Danny Cannell was on. I thought you asked really good questions there. Ramon Foster was on. Great questions there as well. A lot of football talk.
A lot of O-line talk today.
A lot of O-line talk today.
Grateful Brent let me go on that because I would have sat there. The whole episode would have just been 3 hours of offensive line talk.
There you go. Make sure you guys go catch that out. Catch that wherever you get your 104.5 The Zone podcast. And it's, of course, obviously on YouTube already. You can go watch it on YouTube.
Yeah.
After this. So Micah Parsons got traded to the Green Bay Packers. Titans cowards?
I don't think the Titans.
Do you wish that Rand Carthon was here? Because he would have got that deal done.
If Rand Carthon might have gotten that deal done. Yeah. 2 first-round picks and Kenny Clark.
Yeah.
I mean, I know people aren't going to be like, if you're a Dallas fan, you're not stoked like, oh, man, we got
Would
Kenny
you like
Clark.
to hear what a Dallas fan said?
Oh, I would love to hear what a Dallas fan said.
Because one of my best friends in Memphis, Benny Kyle. He is a big Cowboys fan, and so I sent to him at 4:07 p.m. SMDH, of course, shaking my damn head. That's all I sent. And he goes, unserious franchise. I go, utterly unbelievable. He goes, Kenny Clark at 2 first. I go, hey, at least you got that. Kenny Clark is older, but I really liked him coming out, and he's done well. DT is an area of need, but so is edge rusher.
Yeah. It's Marshawn Nealon season. Let's go.
Good luck.
Let's go.
Because we could talk about some second-round draft picks.
Yeah, we could. Somebody in this room wrote an article.
I did. I wrote my first article in a long time.
I actually, man, this is going to sound crazy. Maybe this is just draft brain and me being too, like, plugged into that, like seeing the forest for the trees kind of thing. I don't hate this trade. Everybody calls it like the worst trade ever.
It's really not the return. I think it's everything that led to the trade, and the fact that Jerry Jones at 6:30 p.m. here shortly is going to hold a press conference already.
I think that I would be curious to know if this was a case where Micah Parsons just did not want to play for the Dallas Cowboys.
Well, yeah,
anymore.
because of everything that happened. So, I mean, Jerry fucking ruined it all.
If you're kind of at an impasse where it's like, well, we just got to take what we can get, 2 firsts.
It happened really quick. Yeah.
And a defensive tackle that, man, I don't know. You're like the Philadelphia Eagles O-line is coming up next week. We got to trot somebody out there to help us. I don't know, man. I think Greg Cosell had a great point about that, is that Kenny Clark's a good player, and they're probably thinking we can get 2 more good years out of him. I looked at that Cowboys depth chart, and, man, I think they are sneaky close to being a bottoming out candidate. Like, I think they could get a top 5 pick next spring.
Well, now that you don't have, I mean, the stats back it up. I mean, Micah Parsons is the factor on that defense.
Yeah. And so then if I'm thinking about it from that perspective, maybe you do have a top 5 pick and you can go get like a TJ Parker, whatever the elite edge rusher is going to be. And then you've got that second first-round pick that you can keep building the team out. I mean, I think they could come out okay in this. No?
I just can't trust them. I mean,
I don't trust Jerry Jones.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's who runs the show. So if you don't trust Jerry Jones, you don't trust them.
I'm a big Brian Schottenheimer fan, though. No, I'm really not. I can't.
Kevin Clark says, when I look at Jerry Jones, I think of one thing. If the football gods came down and said, Jerry, you get to win the next 3 Super Bowls, but the catch is you can't do a press conference, he looks at the football gods and says, no deal.
That's good. That is good.
And material. Guess what? Trades away Micah Parsons, goes ahead and schedules a press conference. I think find the least tenured Cowboys beat reporter on the beat.
Yeah.
And say, hey, you'll probably never be allowed to do a Cowboys presser ever again. Yeah. But we're all going to step back and we're going to let you take the first question, but it has to be, Jerry, what the fuck?
So you're talking about human sacrifice.
Yeah, I mean, but it's for the bit.
I mean, Jerry Jones doesn't look that imposing, but I think he's probably got some sort of like voodoo magic behind his eyes where it's like he can summon spirits to haunt you or possess you.
Well, so, I mean, maybe they could rush the passer for him. Here's the thing, like he's handled this all poorly, and David Mogoleta, he acted like David Mogoleta wasn't even a person and acted like he was above the law, the NFLPA and the CBA and all this stuff. And he said, oh, well, Micah Parsons, I thought we had a handshake agreement.
Yeah.
Well, like, you're not even allowed to do anything with him.
So I guess now that we're talking this out, my perspective would be on the surface, in a vacuum, I don't think this trade is as bad. I think it could work out for both parties. But when you pair it with the fact that the roster is nearing a bottoming out,
and you didn't even have to,
because of the guy that made this trade, then it's like big picture wise, I don't know, man. What are we doing here?
Because you still have Dak Prescott's contract, which you can't really get out of.
It just paid CeeDee Lamb a fortune.
Yeah, and like those are 2 deals I'm not like terribly upset at, but it's also the process behind getting to those deals. It's trading a third for Jonathan Mingo and a 5th for Joe Milton. Like, he's an insane person.
When you put it like that, that is pretty
he is the Mickey Loomis of the NFC East. It's like the 2 worst GMs with the longest leashes are in the NFC.
Yeah, man, that's crazy. That is
because we're talking about
crazy.
Yesterday we were talking about worst from worst to first, and everybody's like, well, the Tennessee Titans, because Blaine's been going on all these national radio shows, and they're like, oh, can Tennessee be the surprise team of the AFC? And then you got Mike Tannenbaum's goofy ass saying, oh, they could win the AFC South and blah, blah, blah. And then, like, people are looking at him like he's crazy, and Blaine is looking at these people like they're crazy.
Like,
he's like, where are you getting this information from?
I know, because all of us, from what I remember, I don't remember anybody that hasn't been like,
if they get
to 6 wins, we're doing cartwheels.
I mean, maybe the national people think 6 wins wins the AFC South.
It could. I mean, I don't know.
But, like, when you start looking at the worst to first, and nobody did it last year, because that's the big thing. Whoa, every year has a worst to first or some crap like that. No, that's not true.
Yeah.
It's just, it's become this common thing that's kind of like, it's kind of like the cornucopia thing from the Fruit of the Loom. where everybody thinks there were, and I am one of those people that thought there was a cornucopia from the Fruit of the Loom logo, and there never was.
It's the Mandela effect.
It's the Mandela effect. It's like Vandy beating Alabama, supposedly. That never happened. It's the Mandela effect. Everybody suffered a Mandela effect that weekend.
Right. Yeah. I was trying to think of other examples.
Yeah. So, it's like Michigan winning the national title. They never won the national title. Alabama won it. But that's really just because they're cheaters. So,
like the Titans drafting Rashaan Evans in the first round.
Yeah.
Never happened.
Never happened. But at the end of the day, it's like you start looking at the guys that were worse last year, and if they're going to be able to overcome the teams in their division. No, there is a clear division right now between the haves and the have-nots. Now, Dallas Cowboys are straddling that line because I think the New York Giants could go third, but they're not going to beat the Eagles. They're not going to beat the Commanders to get to the first and the second.
It's really interesting though. Why do you think that is in a league that is supposed to be designed for parity? I mean,
quarterbacks.
Quarterbacks. Okay.
Quarterbacks. I think there's a clear division in quarterbacks right now. Now, last year's draft class can help mitigate some of that, right? If Michael Penix Jr. hits, if Drake May hits, J.J. McCarthy hits, that mitigates some of that.
Yeah.
But I think it's just a clear delineation between quarterbacks that can either elevate or the GMs that have built a team around a quarterback that can't elevate but still be successful. But it's all about the quarterbacks.
Yeah, you're right. I'm just wondering if there's this effect of these successful teams and everybody trying to copy what they're doing.
Could be.
Like all these, McVay offensive guys and all these Vic Fangio defensive guys. Everybody wants to run the same schemes. And so you end up with this league where some people are running these schemes effectively and everybody else is trying to run them, but they don't have the ingredients that the good teams do, which kind of gets back to your point about the quarterbacks.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that kind of gets to your point with the Tennessee Titans, right? We could talk about a couple different things on the Tennessee Titans in that front. Is that I'll start right here. I think there's another issue besides quarterbacks is pass rushers.
Yeah.
And I just wrote about for stackingtheinbox.com. But if you go back and look from 2020, 2024, last year's draft, and essentially what I've done is take the final year of college stats for pass rushers drafted in the second round. And then I did their second year or their rookie year, their second year, third year, fourth year, fifth year, if they qualified. And then I go through and I basically look at the growth rates, the decline rates, all that kind of stuff, and see what's the drop-off.
Yeah.
There is a 69.9% decline in sack production from final year in college to your rookie year. Guys, I hate to tell you, but 4.5 sacks ain't going to look good in college and going to try to be translatable into the NFL. It rarely happens.
Where are we at workshopping the mantra that drafting an edge rusher in the second round is like drafting a quarterback in the second round?
I think it's totally there. In fact, I think that actually the second round is almost a black hole. That is something I have not confirmed. But I think here's the thing. It's all about mitigating risks.
Yeah.
And the NFL does a really piss poor job. This is not a Tennessee Titans really discussion. It's more of the larger problem in the NFL because they don't want to mitigate. If I look at it this way, here's 3 things that you should be looking for in an edge rusher in the second round. Year-to-year consistency, production, then athleticism. Because here's what I'm thinking. When you look at a guy like Nick Bonito.
Yeah.
Right? Consistent. He wasn't really high, wasn't really low. He was very consistent throughout college. No real highs. I mean, he was a very consistent pass rusher. Arnold Ebiketie would be another guy.
That guy, yeah.
When you have those guys that you can see a baseline of production, even if they were to go up in competition, as long as they either remain the same or get better every year, that's what you're looking for.
What do you think the ceiling of a guy like that is, though, in the second round, and our teams becoming too enamored with the idea of the ceiling, that they're taking guys that they're giving up steady production for traits?
Yeah, that's what they're doing.
Yeah.
Because what they're doing is that I think here's what it is. We're going to see more and more edge rushers.
Mm-hmm.
Or I think the classes for edge rushers are going to continue to be deep.
Yeah.
And I think what's going to happen is the paradox of choices, I think is what it was.
Okay.
The paradox of choice. And it's essentially what it's saying is the more choices you have, the worst outcomes you'll likely have. Because just because you have all these choices doesn't mean all the choices are good. You get paralyzed. Some of it's by anxiety and all this stuff that doesn't really pertain. But it's like procrastination, regret. Like, don't you think the Tennessee Titans right now are saying, man, we traded back. We would rather have had Isaac Tesla instead of Femi Oladejo?
Whew, that's a tough one. I think I would say that for sure.
I think they would. Because here it is. That also causes a ripple effect in the draft, right?
Yeah.
Because now you passed on Isaac Tesla, and went Femi Oladejo, then you went Kevin Winston, because Isaac Tesla was gone in between those picks. Now you put yourself in a rut where you're having to get Chimere DK and Elikiah Manor. And we're talking about mitigating risks, right?
Yeah.
Well, you've already took a big risk in taking a second-round pass rusher. Now you've taken 2 fourth-round wide receivers, which we have said on this show and on Cover 2. Good luck getting production out of those guys, too, because wide receiver in the fourth round is almost a black hole.
Yeah.
So it's like what you have done is tripled down on bad risk. Like, they really need, I created this job title, a NFL risk assessor.
So, and the thing about it is, I've completely just lost the thought that I was about to say, because I thought, man, that title that Zach just came up with himself goes so fucking hard. What a good job there.
Okay, so just to bring up what I'm talking about, like Nick Benito here in college, he has his second to last year 11 tackles for a loss and 8 sacks. The next year, he has 15 tackles for a loss and 7 sacks. You know what you're getting with that guy.
Yeah.
And so that's a risk mitigator. And that's what you're really looking for. And I just think that what happens is that they get enamored with 2 things. They see the athleticism. I think athleticism is number 1. And they value athleticism, which you should, but it needs to come with other stuff. They value athleticism and overvalue their coaches' ability to develop this talent.
I see.
Because I look at a guy like Elijah Roberts, who was drafted in the 5th round.
I liked Elijah Roberts.
He went to SMU. 13 tackles for a loss. He went from Miami to SMU, 13 tackles for a loss and 10 sacks, 11 tackles for a loss, 7.5 sacks last 2 years. That's a guy that I would draft over Femi Oladejo.
Yeah.
But he was built a little bit more like a defensive end than an edge rusher.
He's a bigger dude.
He's a pass rusher. He's a dude.
Yeah.
You see consistency. Consistency to me is key when talking about edge rushers. Now, in the first round, when you have a guy that explodes on the scene with like 20 sacks in college, I'm not going to – first round is where I feel like, okay, you could take that risk.
Yeah.
Like, you shouldn't take the risk on Shamar Stewart, but you take the risk on maybe a Jalen Walker.
Yeah. I'm curious if the developmental aspect of this is what they're weighing against the risk. If they're saying we've got time, not necessarily can our coaches develop these guys, it's we feel secure in our positions that we could bring in these developmental prospects and we'll have the time to turn them into pro players, or not even that, but we'll have time for them to mature into good NFL players. Like, if this is part of the draft, develop, retain, but maybe even to a fault, and you still don't have the final say whether you're there or not.
I think it's having too much faith in your developmental abilities. Because what you're like, okay, let's think about who's easier to develop. Mike Green or Femi Oladipo?
Who's easier to develop? Mike Green.
Right. Now, Mike Green had his own other set of risks that the Baltimore Ravens spent over a year investigating.
Yeah.
They took a chance on him. Couldn't believe he was there. And guess what? Guess who has the highest sack prediction out of the second-round edge rushers drafted? Oh, it's Mike Green.
He looks like a dog, man.
And he's going to be good.
Yeah.
But he also landed in a good spot. And so even if he were to maybe be slow to develop, you know that he has a good base floor. You know he has the pass rush toolkit. You know that he's gone and been able to dominate at the Senior Bowl. You've seen it firsthand. Like, he has his own set of risks, but I would rather take – there's only so many people on a team that can walk your grandmother across the street. You need someone that's probably going to rob their grandmother.
I was going to say
I know we're going to take a different direction, or just ignore the grandmother and cut in front of them, not hold open the door. You need some of those guys, and I get that they're trying to build a ground floor right now.
Yeah.
But it's okay, you're building this ground floor, you're building this room. Why not put up a bikini photo somewhere, like a bikini poster?
Hell yeah, now we're talking. I do think that my concern and what you're highlighting is that...
And it's an NFL issue.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just want to reiterate that.
I think it's
except for the Ravens.
It's the sense of urgency aspect of it. It's you're kind of playing with fire because you're doing this asking owners to be patient, and historically speaking, they're not known for being the most patient group of people. So it's I don't know, man, it kind of feels like a tightrope act.
Well, can I also say, okay, so let's say you do have that patience.
Yeah.
Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Why not take that risk on Mike Green? See, that's the thing.
I don't know. I don't
You
have an
can
answer
still
for it.
be patient and maybe draft Isaac TeSlaa than Princely Umanmielen.
It's not
you could be patient and do something different, except for what I think happened is they panicked and they ended up with the 9th pass rusher off the board.
It depends on which board, because
I'm just talking about the actual board.
Okay.
And then he was the 9th pass rusher taken in the draft.
Gotcha.
And then but in the consensus draft board, which is proven, do not go against the consensus draft board. It is scientifically proven, do not go against the 15th best pass rusher.
I had him at 17 on my board, and I liked him. I liked him a whole hell of a lot.
Way a lot more than I did.
As a 4th-round prospect.
Right. So why, if you have patience, you have patience, you should be willing to take more calculated risks, because that's what you're trying to do. I know it's a mitigating risk, but you're trying to take a calculated risk. The calculated risk on the guy that couldn't cut it at inside linebacker that switched over to outside linebacker, and he's suddenly going to develop into something that you can use. That the Aaron Schatz of DVOA, he thinks he's going to have 13.1 sacks over the course of his first 5 years. My model has him at 8 over the first 4, 9 over the first 5. Not that big of a difference between what I did and what Aaron Schatz does.
Yeah.
And either way, 13 sacks over the course of 5 years is even 5 sacks a year. That's even worse than Harold Landry.
I want to go somewhere with this conversation, but before we change that, I want to say patience is for your day 3 developmental picks. The patience aspect of it doesn't really play. I'm thinking out loud here. You don't have to be patient if you can get a guy like Mike Green who is ready to rush the passer week 1. Then you don't even have to talk about patience at all. And that guy was available there, and that is, I think, the heart of the criticism. What I wanted to ask you, but do you want to wrap up before we change this conversation?
Well, I just wanted to say, where is Kevin Winston here? Okay, there he is. I mean, Josiah Stewart, who's also looked pretty good in the preseason, who also was pretty consistent. But I still go back to Elijah Roberts. I mean, like
Elijah Roberts was good. There was
it's just a big ripple effect. I mean, you go Isaac Tesla, and that changes everything. And I mean, I know we joked about it a lot, but Isaac Tesla was probably worth the second round pick by what we saw. I mean, let's be honest. I mean, I know we kind of joked about it, but like that, and he's going to prove it. It's like we didn't really joke about, but like we were big on Puka Nacua, and we couldn't believe he fell. Yeah. Well, Isaac Tesla is trending to be this year's Puka Nacua, by the way, which we both figured.
Yeah.
And we saw it live there at the Senior Bowl. They saw it live, and you know that at least the offensive staff really regrets that they did not get Isaac Tesla.
It would be hard not to. Where does Landon Jackson fit into this conversation too? Because he was available at that point.
I think he will end up being pretty decent.
Because that's who I wanted them to take, was Landon Jackson. I think he's going to be pretty good, and he landed in a really good spot too.
And listen, everybody's like, well, you're glossing over his charges and all that kind of stuff. Well, we're not glossing over. We said that he brought his own other risks. But if you listen, because I know critical listening is very hard for a sports radio audience in general.
Mm-hmm.
If you listen, the Ravens, who, by the way, knew about Isaiah Wilson's issues and John Robinson didn't.
Yeah.
Spent over a year thoroughly investigating everything on their own about Mike Green.
Which was a testament to their system of identifying this talent early and jumping on it.
And I'm not condoning or saying someone's innocent or anything like that. I am just telling you that a team that is much better at identifying talent and much better at investigating draft prospects were comfortable enough to draft him at that spot because of what they spent hours, months, over a year of investigating. Because he was on their radar a year ago. I guess that'd be the 2023 football season. Yeah. So they've been doing their due diligence on him at some point through there, all the way through the draft.
Mm-hmm.
And they felt comfortable enough to take him. So I just want to throw that out there that we're not glossing over it. We're just telling you, we know he had his other risks. They were different sets of risks than Femi, but the Ravens did their due diligence.
Yeah, for a year.
For over a year, I think.
I just got a whiff of garlic bread or something in here. Is there somebody that we can't see in this room cooking something right
Dixie
now?
Says, should I pick up Tesla in fantasy? Oh, if he's there in the 15th round, first off, your league sucks. But if he's there, you draft him. I'm not saying you draft him like in the 3rd round or anything, but he's the starting outside wide receiver.
Mm-hmm.
And he shot up consensus boards. I don't know where he ended up landing, but he shot up.
How does
Thanks
this change? Yes, we did that. How does this conversation change if, let's say, going back to the idea that we have time to build, if we're misconstruing the drafting of Femi Oladejo to be the answer at pass rusher, but maybe they're thinking this is a really good depth piece and maybe we can turn him into an edge rusher too, and we can spend the premium capital in the 2026 offseason to go get our thoroughbred.
Then I would still say the process is wrong.
Because
you're still spending a 2nd round pick.
Yeah.
It doesn't even have to be Mike Green. You could go down this list and find other players that will likely be more impactful for their teams than Femi will be for this team. And I hope I'm wrong, but this is an edge rusher issue. Like, I mean, I think Mike Green, then Donovan Ezeraku, who is already off the board, and JT Tuamaloa are probably your 3. Those are your 3 best chances of having a successful edge rusher in the 2nd round, which would be 3 more than what you usually find in these draft classes every year, or 2 more.
Yeah.
Because sometimes you don't even find 1. I mean, last year, Marshawn Nealon He was the big prototype. Everybody's like, oh, I can't believe this guy is huge and he's an edge rusher and blah, 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 blah. 4 sacks, then ended up in his final year in college, 0 sacks in the NFL.
Hey, man, don't slander Marshawn Nealon. That's why they got rid of Micah Parsons.
But you're talking about, like, even Harold Fanning Jr. And I know you got Gunnar Helm, but maybe you get Harold Fanning Jr. instead of Gunnar Helm. And that's just one name I just saw. But, like,
defensive line was
Andrew
Darius
Makuba.
Alexander.
Andrew Makuba.
Yeah.
It was available still then. You had Trey Harris.
Mm-hmm.
We already talked about Isaac Tesla, but you had Trey Harris. You had Jack Besh.
What about Darius Alexander, defensive tackle?
He got injured, but yeah. He's out
theoretically,
for the year. Theoretically.
Back in April. Yeah.
You could have just stayed at your pick and took Luther Burden.
Yeah.
Like, there were other avenues. Like, to me, second round, I'm looking at wide receivers all day long, every day.
Yeah, or like some of the interior. Like, you could probably get the best center in a class, one of the best guards in a class.
I can't believe I'm going to have to do this again because people are thinking that the Ravens took a chance. The Ravens investigated everything for over a year.
A lot of work.
I'm going to have to say something. Could there be they lessened their chances greatly? It's not because they were a successful organization that can take on a character issue. It's because they're a successful organization because they did their due diligence. It's about mitigating and lessening risk. They did the research. They didn't sit there and say, oh, Mike Green's got these charges. Well, we're a 12-4 football team, so let's take them.
Yeah, we can do this. We can
do it. Yeah. No, they did their research on Mike Green and said, okay, can't believe he's still here. We feel very comfortable taking him because we know more information about Mike Green than probably anybody else in the NFL knows.
Yeah, because they spent the time to
They spent the time to do it. They spent the time to interview people close to him. They spent the time to go investigate and talk to all these different people. You can hear about it from Eric DeCosta himself going through the in-depth process they went through. The reason why they're a winning team is because they do stuff like that.
Yeah, because they're identifying future classes. Like right now,
I don't get why people just don't grasp this.
I mean, just imagine like right now, under that principle, they probably have people that are starting to check out like the 2027 and the 2028 classes.
And people are like, every team would have done that. Well, no, every team didn't. And here's how I know that every team doesn't do that. They had the capability to do it, but we've read about it in Neil Stratton's book about scouting. We've read about it in the Packer Way. There's tons of stories. But let's go to the Tennessee Titans. When Isaiah Wilson was drafted, they were laughed at. And what did John Robinson use as an excuse? COVID.
Yeah.
They did no research. Mike Vrabel was like, oh, this guy's big as a house when he walks through the door. Let's draft him. They did no research. And it came out that the Ravens were like, yeah, he was off bar. I can't think it was Albert Breer wrote it. Yeah, Isaiah Wilson was off our board. Completely off our board.
Yeah.
Because of the research we did. So every team, you're right, every team has the capability to do it. But not every team spends years upon years or over a year and taking those extra steps. If every team did it, every team would be good.
Yeah, and I wonder if like teams get away from their process out there, depending on how the draft falls, is where you end up with. I wish I could think of a situation off the top of my head, but like we didn't know he was going to be there, but he was there. We didn't do a whole lot of work on him, but we just took him because the value appeared too great, and then you end up in a situation where the player doesn't work out.
Yeah.
It's like you could, theoretically speaking, there's nothing that I know of, maybe you know, that says we can't have people scouting and investigating these kids 3 years in advance.
No, most good teams do that.
Yeah.
The Tennessee Titans so far before now, I mean, maybe Mike Bergonzi will be able to put that into place.
Yeah.
The Tennessee Titans before then weren't doing that, and if they were doing it, weren't doing it very well. And that's clear by all the draft classes that you've seen fail at the Tennessee Titans.
Yeah. 3 in a row.
Fell spectacularly, by the way.
Yeah.
And you can almost include Rain Carthon's first one in that, and I probably will. So if we're going to go Isaiah Wilson 2020, 2021, 2022, and 2023, that's 4 in a row that fell at a spectacular margin.
Who's left from the 23 class? It's just
Skoronski,
Spears,
and Spears.
Yeah.
And Levis is on IR. Season-ending IR,
yeah,
which Tajay Spears is on IR.
Yeah. So, yeah, and there's man, it's concerning. And
the processes you have in place are what gives you the opportunity to feel very comfortable because you know something other teams don't, or B, yeah, sure. I see someone making a kind of say, well, Mike Tomlin can handle diva wide receivers. You take a risk on diva wide receivers. Totally get it. Those diva wide receivers end up elsewhere, right?
Yeah, usually. Pretty good track record of that.
I mean,
yeah.
I mean, sure. I mean, I get what people are trying to say, but also what gave the Steelers this idea to do that was because they were really good at identifying and drafting talented wide receivers.
Yeah.
Like, there's a difference between what I'm trying to tell people, and they're just not getting it, is that it's the process they put in place. Now, can Mike Bergonzi build that process? Sure.
That's what
because
I was
obviously he's taken over a scouting department that most of the people at the time, they're relying on old work.
Yeah.
So it's not going to be likely thorough work.
Mm-hmm.
And I think this draft class ultimately will end up turning the perspective around of how we feel about Titans draft classes, because the last 4 or the prior 4 to last year, because last year's was looking pretty good.
Yeah. In
certain respects, will turn that around. And I'm not saying, again, the Titans had to draft Mike Green. But what I'm saying is that the reasons the Ravens did is because they had the processes in place. The Titans have to get there, and part of that is mitigating and taking calculated risks and taking a second-round pass rusher right now. If you told me, if I had the data presented right now to me, where it says that Mike Green will have over 30 sacks the first 5 years, but I went back and told the GM, here's my recommendation from the future, it'd be not to draft a pass rusher in the second round.
Yeah.
Period. Not even Mike Green.
So,
because I just don't think it's worth it at this point in the thing. And I know that sounds crazy to erase a whole position group from edge, from a draft board in a particular round, but that's what the trend tells you to do, to lessen your risk.
That's where that's what the data is pointing to. And more and more as each draft class passes, what you are seeing are like the thoroughbred guys. If you want that dude, it's got to be a top 20 pick. And then maybe you can supplement the pass rushers you have with some really good role players on day 3. I mean, you mentioned Elijah Roberts. I think Yaya Diaby is another good example of that as well. There's another one, the name's escaping me, but it almost feels like it's a matter of team building and how you allocate resources. And it doesn't seem, based on the data that we've got, it doesn't seem like it's very wise to designate a second-round pick for an edge rusher.
And it also doesn't seem wise to not only do that, but then do it at the lowest possible outcome.
Yeah.
Because not only did they do something that's already comes with a lot of risk, they also did it on a player with the lowest possible outcome. Because you can talk about ceilings all day long, but the NFL, you'll quickly find out what a player is and isn't. And if the preseason has shown us anything so far, which, by the way, Mike Bergonzi, he himself today said, everything gets faster from OTAs to training camp. From training camp to joint practices, from joint practices to preseason, from preseason to regular game, from the first 4 weeks on, everything gets faster. And what we have seen in preseason is a guy in Femi who we all thought was raw.
Yeah.
In fact, I would say that we were all wrong about that. He is rawer than raw. He is like in the Krang. If he would, he is the robot body.
Yeah.
And his ability to process at the NFL is, instead of being a huge alien brain in the center of that robot, it's a baby right now. Yeah. He's got some Levis brain to him. Mm-hmm. Now, can he develop? Yes. Has history shown us that is the likeliest outcome? No. But the Tennessee Titans felt differently.
Yeah.
And so to me, that's where the NFL at large, their hubris is on these pass rushers, that they are like, well, this guy's an athletic freak, or this guy's super long. He's got the size. This guy has 1 year of production. You don't take that guy in the second round because you're never – history has shown right now that your chances of seeing your return on investment on that pick is low.
So how can you quantify – how can you quantify potential? And
Derek was not awful. Someone said Derrick Henry was awful in his second season. I was like, or rookie season. I was like, he had 700 yards his rookie season.
I think
pretty sure he did.
I'm curious how you quantify potential to justify something in the face of such overwhelming data.
Oh, it was 490 yards his first season as a backup, and 744 yards his second season still as a backup.
Yeah.
So that's what it was. I knew there was 700 in there somewhere. I just couldn't remember where.
How do you justify from a data standpoint pulling the trigger on a pick like that? Or is that the issue here, is that you're ignoring the data to just make a judgment off of vibes?
Well, I'll be honest. It feels like they ignored both data and tape. And I think it's athleticism. He's body beautiful. He's built like a dream edge rusher, right?
He's a beautiful man. He's
built like one.
Yeah.
He's nice. He loves football. And that's what this Tennessee Titans team has built this year. They're building because they sacrificed production on this defense for culture building.
Yeah.
Which we'll see how this culture stands up when they're allowing 34 points a game.
But they're scoring 35 a game.
Yeah, maybe that can help mitigate it. But, that to me is like, it's weird. When you watch Femi's preseason, it's very weird. And we've talked about it. But it's like sometimes you see athleticism, but you see the brain not talking. Yeah. It's like unabashed athleticism that has no purpose. Mm-hmm. And then when he's attacking with purpose, you don't see the athleticism.
Yeah.
And I think that's what people are missing because they see the three pressures. Oh, he led the team in three pressures in this game against undrafted free agent rookie tackle Logan Brown, who put us together some of the worst tape I've ever seen in a preseason game and some of the worst tape of a draft prospect. Like these people, I know, no offense to Iron City Film. He loved Logan Brown, but he wasn't the only one in the draft community. I know No Flags Films did too. I mean, like then PK was writing about it. And I'm just like, I'm texting you. I'm like, I don't fucking get it about Logan Brown. And again, that is projection, right? That is super projection.
Yeah.
Because he barely played in college and he wasn't good in college. And it's like, well, he's got the size and the athleticism.
Loves ball.
No. Draft pass protectors. Like there's so easy paths to mitigating the risks of draft picks in a inherently risky business.
Yeah. I have a hard time swallowing this one, admittedly. I mean, I kind of feel like this could be...
It's not going to be the end of the world.
I was about to say, I don't want to be dramatic and be like, oh, this edge rush issue is going to completely unravel the Titans, but I do...
I mean, the issue at large is...
Yeah.
But not the Femi pick. The Femi pick is indicative. It's a symptom of a bigger illness.
But it's like, you think like, well, what if they did approach the quarterback position the same way? And
there's Jackson.
There's Jackson.
Jay Will's behind the glass.
What's up, boys?
What's up?
It
is a symptom of a larger illness.
Which is
because this pass rush is going to suck.
And it's not
going to be good.
Man, if they had approached,
if it's good, I'll tell you what. If this pass rush is good, league average, in terms of sack rate,
okay.
In terms of pressure rate, like the two big ones, if it is league average, 15th or better, I'll wear a clown suit on this podcast.
I think you should eat a pile of dog shit.
All right, back to the shadows with you.
Oh, you don't get to do the shadows.
Yeah, I'm going to do the shadows. But I'll wear a clown suit on this show.
Okay.
And I'll tell you what, if Femi Oladejo gets double-digit sacks once in his first 4 years, I'll wear a clown suit on this show.
Man.
And that's how confident I am that this pass rush is going to stink.
That's what a degenerate gambler I am, is that you say that and I immediately want to start thinking, like, what can I do? What can I gamble on?
Well, we'll just both do clown suits.
We'll both do clown suits. Yeah, because, I'm confident in that, too.
Or we'll do a whole show where it's just your feet on your video.
Zoomed in
on your feet.
Well,
that'll make you some money.
Yeah, touche. That was weird. That picture of my barefoot getting 50,000 impressions on Twitter and bookmarks. What are we doing here, guys? I think that's the scariest concern, the realization of, like, well, if they did it for this position, what's to stop them from doing it for another position?
Yeah.
Unless
they
just,
are.
Like,
I mean, they're doing it with Chimere DK.
I don't know. I'm not going that far with you.
I think they're doing it.
I think he's going to be good. And I think he was higher valued.
Oh, what do you think? Okay, makes sense to me then. Bones Fossil saying, hey, this guy's not ready. And then 8 days later, hey, he's going to be our punt returner.
I can't. We were talking about that on 3HL a little bit, and I think Joseph brought it up. I don't know if it was on air or not, but he was like, do you think this was like a front office situation where they said, like, we're not going to –
This is our draft pick.
We're not going to be – like, we're not going to keep James Prochet here. And
here's the thing.
But then they brought Prochet back on the practice squad.
Here's the thing, Stoney. That's what we got to remember. They have told us with every ounce of their breath, with Brandon Allen still being employed, they don't care about this year. There's only one thing they care about: pass protection and Cam Ward.
I kind of feel like, and I'm seeing, like, yeah, it's not just a saying that, like,
they just don't give a fuck.
Well, we're going to live and die by Cam Ward. It's like, no, they really don't give a fuck about anything. Like, it's more important to establish the culture.
Yeah.
So that you're kind of planting your seeds there so you reap what you sow in a year or two. They just want to know, do they have the guy? And, oh, man.
They're telling Denard Wilson, Ben Bloom, Bones Fossil, here's Femi, here's Chimere DK, do your job.
Yeah.
I mean, that's essentially what they're doing. And that's fine to a certain degree. But if you're trying to tell me to bake a cake with a broken spatula and rotten eggs, it's probably going to suck.
Oh, man, this conversation could take, I mean, we could really take this to a dark place.
But I'm just saying, like, that's what they're doing. They're saying, because they've said all offseason long since training camp, Stoney, what's been the story? We're going to lean on our young guys. And what'd they do? They put James Prochet on the back burner, and they're going to let Chimere DK be punt returners 8 days. They announced it 8 days after Coach Bones Fossil, arguably the best special teams coach in the NFL, saying he's not ready.
Maybe he got ready in 8 days.
Yeah, that's very likely. But that's what they're doing. And so they're telling us in so many different ways, it's about Cam Ward and the pass protection. It's not about Calvin Ridley. It's not about Tony Pollard. It's not about Brian Callahan's job security. And go look at Easton's thing. It's not about Brian Callahan's job security, his article. It's not about, wins. It's not about Super Bowl this year. It's not about, having a bunch of sacks. It's about stopping the run and Cam Ward and pass protection, which is a totally different way to go about a rebuild. I mean, it's like a true old school rebuild.
Well,
it's not even a rebuild on the fly.
It is. I tell you, man, it's kind of like the focus on stopping the run, the focus on the offensive line. It is kind of like building from the trenches out.
This is my favorite. Blitzing is Denard Wilson's specialty. Oh, yeah. I forgot that he was like 28th in blitz rate last year. He's a great blitzer.
They're going to blitz, though. They're going to blitz.
That's what they've said. I'll believe when I see it. I believe they said that last year, too.
I thought they said that last year, too.
Yeah. And they didn't.
Well, but maybe they couldn't because of, I don't know.
Well, then, so what else did you sign Kenneth Murray for? Because he wasn't good at anything other than blitzing. But they had one of the lowest blitz rates in the NFL.
Yeah. Don't know.
It's just a recipe for disaster. I am just banking. Again, this defense is going to suck.
I think it's going to be the thing that drives Titans fans to drink this fall. I think the offense is going to be fun, though.
The offense will be fun. And I think maybe that's just the whole point. They're like, okay, everything else can suck. Our punt returner can suck. Our defense can suck. But if Cam Ward looks good, that's all that matters.
Yeah, then we got something. Then we might start
then everything else will fall in place over the next 3 years. And I say next 3 years is because the remainder of his rookie contract, then whatever they do with an extension or fifth-year contract of Cam Ward, which is fine. It's just look at the Panthers, right? They're still rebuilding. They're in year 3 of Bryce Young, and they're still rebuilding.
It ain't easy to do for some reason.
It's not. Well, if it was easy to do, everybody could do it.
Yeah.
It would be much easier if they mitigated risks.
Maybe that's another factor in it just being the same few teams at the top the past few years.
Yeah.
So it just ain't easy to do.
I don't know. Like, again, I'm all for a rebuild. Like, I've set my expectations. 6 wins. It's fucking beautiful. I will take 6 wins.
I'm doing cartwheels with my dangle down hanging out on Broadway.
Yeah. Listen, and it may just end up being 3 wins, but as long as Cam Ward looks good and stays healthy, as long as Cam Ward looks good over the course of the season, that's really that, and the offensive line is the only thing that you should be clinging hope to. Because I'm not clinging hope to Elikiah Manor. Calvin Ridley, Tony Pollard, they'll be good. But, you got to cling to the tangible stuff, and the tangible stuff is your offensive line because it's been shitty for so many years, and your quarterback because it's been shitty last year. And those 2 things are the most important things for the growth of your young quarterback besides coaching stability. Yeah. So when you're looking at on the field, those are the 2 things. Everything else will likely either be average or suck. There will be no in-between.
What do you think about special teams?
I think the coverage unit will be good. I'm a little curious to see how Johnny Hekker holds up over the whole course of the year. How many kicks does Joey Slime miss? But I think coverage and blocking units will be good. The return,
so too.
I'm not too positive right now about the return game.
Yeah, I feel like that is something else that could exponentially help the team overall. But it kind of also feels like the approach is just like, we're really focused on this offensive line and Cam Ward. And if everything else gets better, cool. That's awesome.
That's what it needs to be.
But, whatever.
That's how it rolls. That's how it rolls. I mean, that's just all you can really look at right now.
We just need to put Chad Brinker and Mike Borgonzi on the couch.
I think they're scared.
Just get them in here.
You saw how defensive Mike or Borgonzi has been about whenever he's asked about the pass rush. And notice when he talked about the pass rush, he talked about everybody except for
Femi Oladejo. I caught that. I was listening. I was like, no, Mike, you don't know what you're doing.
But I asked him a question about the pass rushers at the opening press conference of training camp. Easton asked him one today, and he was defensive in both of them.
He's probably like, you fucking guys, stop asking me about the edge rushers.
And Preston Smith is not coming to save anything.
No.
I don't think this team is going to blitz at a high rate like everybody assumes. And I think that they're really going to still try and rush with 4. And I think they're going to use a lot of simulated pressures like they did last year.
Yeah. I don't know. If they really don't care, maybe they can just go balls to the wall and just say, fuck it. Let's see what happens.
And this idea, and like they have 6 defensive linemen, so maybe they're going to do a 6-1-4 defensive formation.
Okay.
6 defensive linemen, 1 Cody Barton, and then 4 defensive backs. I don't know. But this idea to rely on your defensive line for pass rush, yeah, good luck.
That's going to get you, let's run the 6-1-4.
Yeah.
Man.
I mean,
put all your defensive backs in. You're going to be outnumbered against most teams. You're going to have like 5 receivers, 2 corners, and 2 safeties. Teams are just going to.
I've seen Jeff. I've seen Jeff in person. He is ripped. He looks great. Now do it on the field.
Yeah.
I mean, are those going to be vanity? Is that a vanity muscle, vanity physique, or are you really going to go out there and get double-digit sacks? Which he's never done in his career. So that kind of tells you he's likely not going to get double-digit sacks.
Yeah.
Tavondre Sweat definitely is not going to get double-digit sacks, and that's okay. His role is entirely different. But they don't have the horses to take advantage of anything that Tavondre Sweat and Big Jeff may do. That is the issue. They got a bunch of nice little slow boys who are just so anxious to do their, make their beds, take their vitamins. They don't have any dogs.
They need somebody that ain't gonna help. No, I'm not gonna make that joke. They need some rough guys. How about that?
They need more NWO Hollywood Hulk Hogan and less the American Hulk Hogan, the American icon Hulk Hogan.
Yeah, I would prefer no Hulk Hogan's. But
Okay,
I see your point.
Yeah,
it's the
they need original Triber Chief Roman Reigns and not like Shield Roman Reigns.
They need deal with it Batista and not genetic freak Batista.
Yeah,
is what they need.
Oh, that's a good one.
They need give me what I want Batista.
They need legend killer Randy Orton.
Yes, that's
what
one.
they need.
Yeah, and not RK Bro Randy.
Yeah. Because right now they just don't have that. They don't have a committee of pass rushers or really a defense.
Go get Braden Swenson.
Yeah, they just don't have that committee to take advantage of Jeffrey Simmons or Tavondre Sweat like other teams do. Like other teams can have an Aaron Donald who takes on literally almost a shit ton of double teams, way more than Jeffrey Simmons has ever faced in a season. And they usually have guys like a Robert Quinn who are fast, who are fast around the edge, that can take advantage of the holes that are open up.
Yeah.
They have no speed besides Arden Key. We know what Arden Key is at this point. That's the problem, is that we have a bunch of people that we know who they are, and there's not a double-digit sack guy on this team.
I am kind of curious to see with the addition of Quandre Diggs. I think James Williams is a guy that they could use in some pass rush situations. They have, the physical corners that they could use. I am kind of curious if early on they will just kind of use a rotation of guys to try and generate pressure.
I can't believe Jalen Harrell's still on this team.
Special teams. You heard it.
I heard it today, but that's kind of crazy.
They just don't have – they had opportunities to get better, and they chose not to go that route.
They have 0 double-digit sack guys on this team. They have, besides Arden Key, who has proven to be NFL fast. Because I see people saying, well, Femi's athletic. Well, we haven't really seen it. And so what I'm saying is that we know what Arden Key is. He is by far the fastest, speediest pass rusher this team has right now.
Who is this team's sack leader by season's end?
I think it's going to be Arden Key.
Can I say something
was it last
crazy?
year.
Can I say something crazy?
Do it.
Just for fun?
You can say Cody Barton?
I think it could be like Cedric Gray.
Hey, it could be. We've already seen him have 2 and 1 take back, but
benefiting from those plays where he's got to be in the gap, but then those other plays where they dial up, like one guy hits the line and then it's the second guy right behind him that takes advantage of the opening. I think he could be that guy.
I would just advise fans, and we've been talking about this on Cover 2, specifically about Jeffrey Simmons.
Because the whole point of this thing is
stop putting
your expectations.
Stop putting expectations on players after they have been in the league for 4 or 5 years. They have shown you who they are.
Yeah.
I mean, there's very rarely there are cases, but it's very rarely that a guy that has been like Draymond Jones, a 5-sack guy for most of his career, suddenly becomes an 11-sack guy.
If you don't have 2 10-sack guys, do you at least have 4 5-sack guys?
Okay, Jihad Ward had 1 last year. Draymond Jones had 4.5 last year, 5.5 last year.
That's close enough.
So we're
we'll put
6.5
Jones on the board.
Yeah. So 6.5 with
Jihad Ward
added.
Jones.
What was Arden Key? 7.5 last year?
I don't remember off the top of my head.
So we can get up to 15 sacks with about 3 of them. It may take 4 to get there.
So then we need 4 from Femi?
Yeah.
Or 4 from Jeff?
Yeah.
So maybe.
But Jeff has never been a double-digit sack guy.
But we just need 4 from him.
Oh, you just need 4 from him?
Yeah. To get to 20 sacks from 4 different people. He's
been a dominant. The biggest problem with Big Jeff, and this is something that Blaine has harped on a lot too. It's not just us saying this. Here's my favorite thing. I can say something, Blaine can say the same exact thing, and everybody's like, can't believe Zach hates Femi. Well, Blaine said the exact same thing.
No, people love Blaine.
Yeah.
I mean,
he said the exact same thing I said. Literally is agreeing with me, but I'm the one. But he agrees. Big Jeff has been dominant in games, in spurts. He's never been dominant a full 17 games.
Yeah, I don't think that's
or 16 games. I think he may have had a 16-game season at some point.
I don't think that's unfair.
That's not unfair. And I think that tells you what he is. Now, can a player go out and change the narrative? Sure. If he does, if he goes out and changes the narrative and he ends up being the double-digit sack guy that he is claiming to be, hashtag double digits,
got to.
That can change this defense. But I'm not going to put that expectation on him. He can put that expectation on him. He should also not advertise it. Because guess what? When he doesn't get it, what are we all going to do in the media and fans? Bash him for that hashtag double-digit sack.
I know. Well, I mean, hey, listen. If you go around talking about, it's like you or me saying we're well endowed, eventually we're going to have to pull it out.
We're going to have to pull it out.
And they're going to see it. And then what?
Just real quick, Joe Blacko's, and I love Joe Blacko. He's very active in the chat always.
Shout out Joe Blacko.
2021,
awesome.
He says, he'll be dominant. 2021, he was that dude. Not consistently, but he was that dude in games.
Yeah.
But not consistently. And he goes, well, he'll have 8+ sacks. Well, okay, so if he has 8.5, he's proven about what he was, an 8.5 sack guy.
Not a double-digit
sack guy. If you want this pass rush and this defense to be good, L'Jarius Sneed has to stay healthy all 17 games. The linebackers have to continue their ascent.
I was going to say Cody Barton.
And Cedric Gray or James Williams.
Mm-hmm.
Your safety room can't suffer the injuries it had last year.
Yeah.
And Jeffrey Simmons has to be a double-digit sack guy.
And you probably need Tavondre Sweat to stay healthy, too.
Yeah. And to be honest, you're not going to get all of that because that's the life in the NFL.
That's life. Man, I don't know. I feel like we've been really pessimistic tonight. I feel like the vibes have been pretty good on this show.
Yeah. Well, we just get into these when we don't have to dive into the real discussions and the real, here's the thing. When we talk about the facts of the NFL and the state of the NFL, it usually shines a bad light on the processes of the Tennessee Titans in some form or fashion.
Yeah.
And maybe that's unfair. But the reality is the NFL isn't as insane year to year as people think. There's always constants. And more often than not, there is a consistency from year to year, specifically for players. It's just what a player is at some point. We know that, Big Jeff has proven to be not a double-digit sack guy.
Yeah.
We know that Tavondre Sweat is a pocket mover. You're likely not going to see the stat sheet on him. We know that L'Jarius Sneed is likely not going to stay healthy this year. We know that there is a ceiling to Cody Barton. There is.
I'm sad.
I know, but we know that fourth round wide receivers typically do not have impactful seasons.
Yeah.
We know that second round edge, the stuff that we know is stuff that the NFL has told us year after year, decade after decade. And that's just the fact of it. That's when you start really diving into the history of the NFL, it's like, what are they all talking about up at the Tennessee Titans, St. Thomas Sports Park? The Ron Wolf Packer way.
Yeah.
Guys, that was from the 1991 and 1992. Mm-hmm. The NFL doesn't change as much as people think. There are trends, but the core...
I just finished that, and it's
such a good book.
It is.
And the stuff that they're talking about in that book in 1990, from 1991, 1992, of course, it was written, I think, in 96 or something.
Yeah.
But the stuff that he talks about that he did at the turn of 1989, into the 90s, is the same stuff teams are doing now.
Yeah.
It may look different, but at its core, it's still the same NFL it's always been. And that's why I think the NFL is so easy to just look at historical data and say, that's the baseline.
How do we shake this up? You and me are given control of the Tennessee Titans today. How do we shake this up?
I think we just take over. I think you let Mike Bergonzi do his job. I think you let Chad Brinker do his job, all of his little office duties. But we got to be real. I think it's like Shark Tank, right? They bring you, they're like, hey, sharks, here's, a second round prospect over here. And all it takes is for you to invest 1 second round pick. I'm out.
Yeah.
I think that's what it takes.
That's what we should be Titan Shark Tank.
Titan Shark Tank.
They could come in here and be like, these are the moves we're making.
Yeah.
You in or you out.
There you go. Titan Shark Tank.
Second round edge rusher? No. Fifth round Elijah Roberts, you got me.
Yeah. There you go. See, that's what you got to kind of do is I think our board, I would love to have seen their board. Because I wonder, because I will say this, you have to have an element of abrasiveness, I guess. I don't know if abrasiveness is the right word, but conflicting views in a room.
Mm-hmm.
These scouts, how many of them do you think, with their job and contracts up and a new regime, are really pounding the table and making persuasive arguments against the new boss?
Oh, that's interesting. And moreover, to go back to the past failures, you got a guy like John Robinson, who was known as the sheriff. You're in a room with Mike Vrabel. You're going to tell those guys no?
Yeah.
I don't know. I think it's an interesting point. I would be curious to know what the dynamic was like in those rooms.
And not to say that has anything to do with Mike Bergonzi's leadership or Chad Brinker's stuff, but it's the natural, again, humans are humans.
Dudes being dudes.
The natural human inclination is to, well, I better be on my P's and Q's and not speak up and not do this, because if I'm wrong, then my job is definitely over.
Yeah.
I'm not getting renewed.
That's one thing that Ron Wolf talked about. He's like, if I couldn't, what did he say? He's like, if I couldn't get it, I would pick on the quiet people. Pick on the quiet people. And if I couldn't get something out of you, you were gone.
You were gone. You're out of here.
I respect that.
Yeah. Because I think even if I'm maybe there's no scouting department in the NFL. There's no GM in the NFL that hits on every draft pick.
Yeah.
But if you can make the argument, I think I could have made the argument to at least put pause on a second round pass rusher pick at this point.
Maybe we shouldn't do this.
Maybe we should be looking at Trey Harris and say, hey, we're drafting a quarterback number 1. Let's focus on all offense. Because obviously any of these pass rushers are not going to change our pass rush this year. They're not going to change it next year. They're not going to change it the year after. It's just calculated risks. Okay.
I'm so sleepy.
I've
been talking for a while.
I think we're done.
It's not my best.
Jackson, we're glad that you're here. Is
Jackson
he in there?
Left. Jackson
left. How can we end the show?
Yeah, I don't know. Oh, well, let's get to Kareem's question.
Yes, Kareem.
Kareem, shout out. I hope I'm pronouncing your name right too. By the way,
could be Karam.
It could be. Yeah,
Let's call him K-Dog.
Still profile picture in that Coach Better Play Better T-shirt. I'll always appreciate that. I got this in the DMs, and I think it's a really interesting question because we're big on transparency and accountability on this show. And if you guys have questions for us, feel free to DM me. My DMs are open.
There's Jackson.
There's Jackson.
We tried to end the show, but now we're into another topic.
Yeah. So,
that's the show. This is football and other F words.
Kareem asks, where's it at? You both loved Shador coming out, and I think that both thought that Cam wasn't worthy of pick one.
Incorrect.
I thought that. Yeah. I said it.
Yeah, but I mean, you changed your mind. You softened on your stance.
I did.
You did. So, K-Dog, update your portfolio.
I'll mention this in the answer. If I remember correctly, you would have wanted the Titans to go Hunter or Carter.
That was a long time ago.
Correct for me, but it was a long time ago, yeah. My question is, how has the offseason program and training camp changed? I keep fucking...
It's your shitty-ass phone. Look at how small it is.
How has the
busted-ass phone?
How has the off-season program and training camp changed your mind on Cam, if at all? From what you've seen so far, has your stance from March, April changed? I, for one, there was a moment, and it's in a
fucking dick out. This pants, these shorts got really high up there.
You got to be careful. It's Thirsty Thursday, after all. I will say there was a moment, and this is a Google Doc, so you could theoretically check me on this.
Yeah.
There was a morning in, I want to say it was early March. I think it was after the Combine that the video had come out where Shador was like, what do you like doing outside of football? And
talking about the rap. Come do a rap song with me. That's what you want to do. Come do a music video with me.
Cam was like, I just want to do football. That moment, I was like, uh-oh. I might be in trouble here. And so I actually went in and changed my rankings and put Cam as QB1. And then I stopped myself because I was like, no, this is a weird question. We get into a gray area when we're talking about what we do on Stacking the Inbox is like, I want to control. I can't start getting into, well, this player was bad in the interviews according to something that I can't verify. And, well, there's a rumor about this guy. The one constant that I can control, since I don't have access to these interviews, is the tape. So I'm going to stick to my guns. Shador's QB1, and we're going to roll with it. And it's going to be based on the tape. I didn't count on a couple of things. Two, people don't really explore context and nuance.
Yeah.
So they just see a list. They see Shador's ahead of Cam Ward, and they think this guy's a fucking moron. And it's really just me saying I think Shador's tape was better than Cam's. And two, it's like it does have me thinking about how I put my board together is like, should I start accounting for some of this news about how these players are performing in the interviews and who they are behind the scenes? Because you and I sat here in early January and we did an episode on Shador Sanders. We did an episode on Cam Ward, and the consensus was, well, the tape checks out. Both of these guys are worthy of being the quarterback that you build around for the future. But now the issue for the Titans is sit down with them in the meeting rooms and figure out if they've got what it takes from the neck up.
Yep.
And so I'm thinking, like, I don't know, maybe I should start putting some of that into my evaluations. There's also, I've had a lot of conversations over the summer, and there's a couple that I've wished that I had in January, and maybe I would have had Cam Ward as QB1. For one, I've had two people independently without knowing one another. It's two separate conversations mention that they didn't really think Colorado coached Shador up at all. that he was talented. They took it easy on him because they knew our offensive line's bad.
They treated him like Auburn's treating Jackson Arnold.
Yeah, it's like, we know you're going to get your ass kicked, so if you have a bad game, we're not going to say anything to you. Like, just do the best that you can behind this line. If I had known that, it would have impacted my evaluation. 2, I took a lot of what NFL teams were saying about Shedeur at face value, and I kept saying, like, behind the scenes, there's some draft people that are saying some pretty bad stuff about his attitude and coachability, and like he's rubbing people the wrong way. But then the teams were coming out publicly, and they were like, oh, yeah, the interview was fine. It was great. So in my head, I'm thinking, well, I'm going to go with what the NFL teams are saying. Yeah. And I think that was a mistake on my part, because what comes out after the draft are all these stories, like the interview with the Giants, that stuff with Brian Daboll came out. And I've heard privately off the record that there were other interviews that he had with multiple teams that it's like, you start wondering, like, is this guy going to listen to anything that a coach tries to tell him? You pair that with the preseason performance. When I said in my scouting report, he's got a major problem bailing out the back of the pocket.
Right.
He's still doing that in the preseason. That, to me, is a little nugget that maybe there was something to this coachability thing. And so
it also kind of makes you wonder, is he even getting the right coaching effort
true,
worthy of him, because he was not wanted.
And so it does kind of make me wonder if I should start sprinkling a little more of that stuff into my evaluation, maybe consider it a little more than the tape. And it definitely made my opinion of him change from where it was before the Shrine Bowl, because that is really where things started to change, when you started hearing some rumblings about these interviews are not going that well. Some stuff's getting brought to light that teams aren't really comfortable with in terms of, like what he was coached to do and that sort of thing. Because on tape, he can look like a hero at times. But in the context of him just literally playing backyard ball, doing whatever he wanted to make a play, it changes things a little bit. So from that moment to now, yes, my opinion on both of these guys has changed dramatically. For the worse for Shedeur Sanders, and 100% for the better for Cam Ward, because I think we've learned about him is that he is an assassin. That the way it was phrased to me in private conversations I had was that, well, you don't have to worry about Cam in the interviews. Cam is going to knock the interviews out of the park. People are going to fall in love with him. And what I heard was, well, he's going to fool people because they're going to love him so much. In hindsight, they were literally telling me, no, like, this dude's got it and he's going to ace the interviews. So that was a misunderstanding on my part. But the more we've gotten to know him, absolutely. Like, the dude's a dog. I think he's made of the right stuff. And this quarterback class in particular has been a lesson on improving as an evaluator.
I would say that I started going more into Cam Ward heading into the draft. I was more Cam Ward 1A, Shedeur 1B, but I was very much like, I'd be fine with either one of them. But as we got closer to the draft and we heard what we were hearing behind the scenes from the staff, what they were doing with their actions, what I heard in December at a Christmas party at 105 The Zone about people that went to games and have been covering Cam Ward.
Yeah.
And as it went on, and I watched more and more tape, and the more I thought about this Tennessee Titans offense, and the more you read, because like you were getting all kinds of articles about Cam Ward once it was pretty much a month out from the draft.
Yeah.
It's like every day was a new Cam Ward article. Every day was a new Cam Ward sound clip. Every day was a new coach coming to speak or this and that, and you found so much out about him. You're like, oh, yeah, no doubt. Like we were trying to tell people it was Cam Ward. There is no trade back. It is Cam Ward.
Yeah,
and people were still fighting us. Oh, it's not Cam Ward. It won't be Cam Ward. They got Will Levis or, blah, 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 blah.
There was a pretty clear pivot. And to your point about it being early that we were talking about Travis Hunter and Abdul Carter.
Yeah, it was way early.
There was a clear pivot point in our content. And if you go back and listen to
I think it happened around the combine for us.
I think that is when.
That's when you really heard the stuff about Shedeur and how he changed from the Shrine Bowl to then.
Yeah.
And that's when what I've come to find out is that Shedeur was at the Shrine Bowl being coached by his dad and his dad's people. Then he broke away from that, got his own people to try to move out from under his shadow. And that's why you got this huge disconnect between what he was at Shrine Bowl and what he was at the combine.
Yeah. It's kind of crazy. It's almost like it's a masterclass into how to tank your draft stock.
Every time you see Cam Ward up at the podium, every time, I cannot wait to see this Cam Ward documentary that's eventually supposed to be coming out soon. But every time you see and hear from Cam Ward more and more, we said it on Titans Talk Back. I said it on Cover 2. If he fails here in Nashville, the Tennessee Titans will never have a quarterback.
Yeah, they should just fold.
They should fold because they'll never have a quarterback. This is their best chance at developing a true blue franchise quarterback. And if they do not, this is where my opinion has changed. Is okay, Cam Ward seems really cool.
Yeah.
Cam Ward seems like he'll be a good fit in this offense. They all seem to get along. Is now my opinion has changed from now to then in terms of Cam Ward is that, he's a fucking dog.
Yeah.
And he is, and seeing him from up close, hearing him talk in person and seeing him play the game, seeing him react to and overcome bad situations, that's a dude. And if he fails here, the Tennessee Titans will never have a quarterback worthy of being called a franchise quarterback.
I'm with you. I thought it was a great question, though, because it is something that privately I've been talking to a couple of people about, and it's been stewing in me is why didn't I just pull the trigger and switch him? Because I had time before the draft guide came out, and I was just being stubborn, sticking to my process.
Which the NFL does the same thing.
Yeah, so it's been kind of festering at me to think I wonder where I could have seen the signs that this was going to
I think it has to do with just reading articles more about these players, the more chances you get. Mm-hmm. Some of them write Players Tribune, right? And listen, if you would have read Anthony Richardson's Player Tribune, you would have been probably saying the same thing you're saying about Cam Ward without him ever throwing a pass. It's this dude gets it.
Yeah.
Because, you read that Players Tribune article that he wrote before the draft, I'm thinking, this dude's a dog. Yeah. And he turns out not to be a dog when live game. He's a dog in a different way. He's dog shit. But
not where I thought you were going with that.
There you go. But that's kind of where it's at is that you have to take in all the information. Yeah. You have to take in the consensus draft boards. And that's where I think isolating yourself or insulating yourself. Teams do that a lot, right? We hear about teams going dark and they're not talking to anybody and they're doing this and they're doing that. Well, that also precludes you from maybe seeing new information that pops up.
Yeah, I agree. I told Kareem, I was like, man, that's a great question. We're going to bring it up. And I said, it's one of those things I want to get better as an evaluator. And this was an experience. And he was comforting and said, you're already a great evaluator. I'll never forget Puka Nacua.
There you go. And now nobody will ever forget Isaac Tesla.
Nobody will ever forget Isaac Tesla. And then, I was going to say somebody else, and I
think Trey Harris is going to be up there too. You're really high on Trey Harris, I think, compared to most people, right? Or
I don't remember. It wasn't Trey Harris.
I may be thinking of Justin Graver was really high on Trey Harris. I like Trey Harris a lot.
Jack Besh, I was really high on.
We'll see. We'll see where that all goes.
Yeah, Jackson Slater.
Yeah.
Future All-Pro left guard for the Tennessee Titans.
That will do it for us. Let's get you in bed.
Yeah,
Long day tomorrow or today on Friday.
I'm going to stop and get a big greasy burger and go right to bed.
There you go. I was about to say cover 2.
There you go.
This is Football and Other F Words, and you have just been effed.